Haven't you heard that song that was like something something big boy? I need a big boy. Da, 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 blah, blah. Yeah, that's us. That's you. All right. Hello, YouTube. Bye, YouTube. Please, please. Is it loud? That might be too loud.
I'd like to show you an abyss.
That's too loud.
Locked within its depths are bewildering and uncanny abominations. The keepers of this abyss believe they are in control. They are wrong. This abyss is the universe of SCP,
What does
which
that
began as
stand
a
for?
seemingly straightforward website where community members create and classify abominations. Yet from this site, the franchise has grown so vast, influenced so many people, that trying to fathom its totality feels like gazing into an unending expanse. So for this entry into the archive, I'll explore not just the universe itself, but how SCP became one of the most gargantuan and uncontainable forces on the internet.
Good,
And to do that, I have to start at the beginning.
All right. Let's go.
On June 22nd, 2007,
2007?
an anonymous user made a post describing, in dry academic language, a concrete sculpture that moves when left unobserved, snapping the necks of anyone who breaks eye contact.
Isn't that just like Weeping Angel? That's not a new concept though, right? Except it's concrete this time.
With
And it looks like a potato.
The sparse
Oh my
description
god!
was accompanied by an image labeled SCP-173. At the time, meaningless letters and numbers. Nobody could have predicted that this
I am looking at its butt.
was the birth of something astonishing. Flash forward several months, and numerous people were creating their own anomalies with the same label format. Most were rather simple, with SCP-628, for example, essentially being a reptile that's virtually invincible. But the universe was starting to take shape, with the SCP Foundation determined to be a secret organization responsible for containing and studying mysterious phenomena. And with this framework, things...
I want to see. The red-pooled, serrated lawn, auto-interrogation, hungry clay, deserted hospital, the hawk, the gift from dad? What's that one? Schrodinger's can opener. I need to know. These all sound very interesting.
Exploded. On the current website, there are more than 7,000 unique entries, many of which are exceedingly original. The entry for SCP-2521, for example, contains no text whatsoever, composed instead of strange infographics that are confusing at first, until you realize they're telling you about a monster that will appear if it's written or spoken about. It's some genuinely creative horror. But no two entries are the same. SCP-106, or the Old Man, is an unfriendly-looking fellow who can corrode any surface and hunts humans. Classic.
He's basically the alien from Alien Isolation.
Effective horror. SCP-294 is a coffee machine that can dispense anything, including abstract concepts like musical talent or lethal nuclear waste.
What? Talent. Can you give me some streaming talent and skills? Can you give me some like luck with the Twitter algorithm? Yo, imagine paying $5 for Twitter algorithm. That would be crazy.
Which is definitely a new one. Certain posts have achieved unique popularity.
Is that the guy from like the Plague, the Black Death people? There's so much fun content with SCP. Okay, I find this very intriguing.
Like 049, aka the Plague Doctor, who looks like a human in a 15th century plague outfit until you look at an x-ray which reveals...
Oh, that's his nose. How does he eat? How does he eat? Does that beak open? Why does he have human teeth? So many questions.
The mask is part of his body. This entity claims to have a cure to any disease, which, spoiler alert, is just death.
Oh.
Not every SCP will connect with every person, but there are so many entries with such distinct styles that it's practically a certainty that at least one post will draw you in. And once you're in, there's no getting out, because the posts themselves are just the tip of the iceberg.
Oh, okay, that gives me trypophobia a little bit. Anybody else? The holes in the face? Like, if they're a little bit more uniform and close together, I think I'll probably... Ooh, trypophobia. Red Sea object is this? Oof. I find it interesting how when we think about horrible monsters, they're always humanoid. Like, more often than not, they are humanoid with arms and legs. I kind of want to see some non-humanoid crazy monsters.
Many of the best entries on the site are text only, which has inspired a legion of talented artists to create their own renderings of what different SCPs might look like. That original SCP-173, for example, no longer has an image associated with it because the initial photo...
The most evil thing I can imagine is probably human. We are the monsters.
Photo was actually
a little too friendly.
Picture of the sculpture Untitled 2004 by Japanese artist Izumi Kato. But don't worry, because there are thousands of images reinterpreting the evil statue, some of which are really creative, like this one from Valdez Evia, an artist I've covered before on the channel. But it's not just famous SCPs that get this treatment. There are absolutely stunning works of art for the most obscure entries, and I think the reason has to do with the format of SCPs themselves. When you read an entry that speaks to you, it's hard not to obsess over what the anomaly might look like. And since many posts have no art of their own, that obsession often explodes out into artistic recreations. But
I wish I was an
artist.
Entry
Entry
so
like
cool.
SCP-610 or The Flesh That Hates.
Oh, it's chat! It's chat! It's Twitter stands! The Flesh That Hates!
A virus that turns humans and animals into blobby tendrils of meat. You don't just want still images. You want to see it move. And you can. There are literally tens of thousands of animations and live-action short films up on YouTube that bring SCPs to life in 3 glorious, horrifying dimensions. The channel Forlorn Foundry is home to some of my favorites, creating fancy CGI recreations of various anomalies.
Unending serpent?
Complex visual effects aren't the only way to effectively bring an SCP to life. Some of the most chilling Forlorn Foundry adaptations are the simplest ones, like their unbearably claustrophobic exploration of SCP-1562, an infinite tunnel slide that is impossible to escape from once you get stuck within its chasmal depths.
The Nutty Putty, anybody? Anybody here heard about the Nutty Putty? Bro, that stuff is like actually terrifying. I'm not claustrophobic, but just hearing about this kind of story is, ooh, take me out, just take me out.
Or the similar SCP-087, a pitch black staircase you can never reach the bottom of. My favorite moment in this video is when someone trapped on the stairs drops a coin off the railing, and the anticipated sound of the coin hitting the ground just never comes. It's seriously clever filmmaking, conveying the dread and anxiety of the original entry. And I think that's part of what motivates
the Wendigo! We know that
similar
one.
channels. A desire to recreate how the best SCPs feel when you read them. And I'm guessing that's why there are so many adaptations of SCP.
Oh, is this IKEA? Is IKEA and SCP? This is very reminiscent of the back rooms, like in terms of concept and some monster concepts. I feel like there's slight overlap, but it's just one IKEA. That's funny. Was that necessary? Of course. The infinite IKEA. I'm okay with that. I've always wanted to live in an IKEA. They have everything, and it's all very pretty, and it's showrooms, and it's everything you need. I'm okay with that.
P3008.
IKEA, a place where children could play while their parents shopped, where friends could share good cheer.
And the infinite meatballs and IKEA food, I'm okay with this one. Faceless staff monster. Oh.
IKEA has just opened its 70th store.
The most renowned SCP in the subcategory of immeasurable spaces is the Infinite IKEA, an extra-dimensional version of the already labyrinthine retail store that literally never ends.
I love IKEA.
Something about wandering the furniture displays in perpetuity, forever unable to find your way back to the entrance, has struck a chord with the internet, leading to countless digital recreations.
I wonder how much of people feeling resonated with this monster is because they've gotten lost in IKEA before. It's like a shared adult experience. Hello, Potato.
I've seen references to the Infinite IKEA well beyond the sphere of SCP.
$20 off? Yo, take it right now.
There are entire fan games about this concept, letting you get lost among the endless furniture displays as a gnawing loneliness sets in. It's a sensation that I find strangely familiar. I'm sure many of us have early memories of getting separated from our parents in the supermarket.
Yeah.
Even if it was just for a brief moment, the aisles suddenly felt larger and more threatening, and there was a sense that you'd never find a way out. I think
and in my case, there were actual kidnappers around. I almost got kidnapped as a kid because I got separated from my parents for like 5 minutes.
Many of the most well-known SCPs are rooted in these half-remembered childhood fears, which helps explain their infectious popularity. There's something universal about the vertigo of a really big staircase, or again, an empty store that allows SCPs to leave a wide...
Empty stores full of food? Dude, with today's grocery prices, an infinite IKEA and an infinite grocery store, I'm down for this, chat. Who's with me? Who wants to move? Who wants to move? We can all move in together and we each claim a room together.
The audience feeling unsettled. But they're also kind of hilarious. Like, being stuck forever in an IKEA is disturbing, yet at the same time, really funny in a way that's difficult to quantify. When night falls in the store, faceless monsters wearing IKEA employee uniforms start hunting you through the dark. And while logically that should make things scarier, to me it only adds to the humor. This paradoxical undercurrent of comedy is present in a lot of SCPs. SCP-1609 was a chair that helpfully teleported to people when they needed to sit down. Until
What? Oh my god. That's super cute. That's super cute. Can they... Do they have like a doppelganger who will do all my work for me? Is that a SCP? If not, can we make it happen? Can we have like a SCP alien who is very productive and loves doing work and is just dying to become you so they can do all your work so you can play and chill?
Someone put it through a wood chipper, turning it into a rageful pile of mulch that teleports into people's lungs. And while murderous sawdust would be terrifying, it's pretty hysterical in the abstract. And this, I believe, is the other massive component to SCP's unparalleled expansion. Even if every entry won't scare you, chances are at least a few will make you laugh. And the more of these stories you read, the funnier it all seems to get. The question of why a never-ending ensemble of terrors is so amusing can be best answered by the genre-bending horror comedy film The Cabin in the Woods.
I remember when this movie came out, although I never watched it because I knew it was a horror, but I remember when this came out. Jam is made of souls, and I love strawberry soul jam. Welcome, thank you for the follow. Hi, author. Some are neutral and some are helpful. Oh, I like that. I like that they're just creatures. Like some of them are harmful and some of them are just chilling. They're just a chill guy, you know? They're just a chill dude. Hi, Yuri. It's not a Ma's job, bruh. I do so much work around here. Ma's just clean up after you goon, Chad. That's it.
Probably the closest thing to a big-budget SCP movie, the story involves 5 friends vacationing at a remote cabin.
I would never step foot in this. I remember as a kid when I watched the trailer, I was like, why would you ever go here? Why would you ever pay money to stay at a place like this? No, thank you. Have you seen the short movie SCP Overlord? No, I have not. This is my first foray into SCP. Yeah. It can be a concept or even a place. Yeah, infinite IKEA. Hi Yuri, 19th. Let's go. The monsters are your neighbors. Yeah, the cranky old ladies next door. The cranky old dog next door that won't stop barking in my ASMR streams.
And unprepared for the terrors that await them. What at first feels like every horror movie ever quickly goes off the rails, as we learn the whole thing is being orchestrated by a secret organization that keeps every conceivable type of monster contained in an underground facility.
Oh, spoilers for 2012 movie The Cabin in the Woods. If you haven't seen it yet, spoilers. Damn, they should have put a spoiler warning. What the heck? How can they assume people all have seen this 13-year-old movie?
Monsters they unleash onto unsuspecting youths to appease the old gods. This overabundance of horrors is the key to the film's humor. A single monster stalking a group of innocents is horrifying, but 1,000 monsters of contrasting origins and genres.
Oh, that big snake. I always think snakes are kind of cute. There's a VTuber SCP. It's me. Yeah, I didn't know about it until like this year as well.
Starts to become,
or 2024.
Well, comical. And it's this principle that makes the SCP series so entertaining. Yet beyond the absurdity of both Cabin in the Woods and SCP is a stark commentary on desensitization. In the film, the technicians in charge of the facility are completely numb to the reality of what they're doing, taking bets on which monsters will slaughter the cabin goers. In many SCP stories, Foundation employees behave the same way, having become apathetic to human suffering after a lifetime of containing anomalies. And both narratives implicate the viewer as well. In Cabin in the Woods, the old gods are a clear stand-in for the audience, unfeeling spectators who demand sacrifice. Likewise, with SCP, the more entries you read, the more you inhabit the perspective of a Foundation employee clocking in to their job, increasingly unafraid of the nightmares within. The ability of SCP to immerse you, to make you feel like you're part of the universe, has made its stranglehold on the internet inescapable. It leaves you with a desire to go deeper, to experience the narratives firsthand, and I'd wager that's why games based on the franchise—
Oof, I don't like that. I do not like doors or buildings that are identical next to each other in a long road or hallway. Do not like that. That snake is eating a man. It's still cute. Still cute. Still cute. Hi, Nameless. Hello. Bum 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 bum. Saskatchewan doesn't have an IKEA. Really? I thought all major cities have an IKEA. People need furniture, no? You don't like doors? No. No, why do you need a door, Chad? Why do you need a door in your room? You're trying to do something sussy? Why do you need a door, huh? There's no need for privacy. There's no need for privacy anywhere in this house.
Are so insanely prevalent. SCP Containment Breach is quite possibly the most well-known thing ever to crawl out of the franchise. The indie game has an easy-to-understand haunted house format, where the deadliest anomalies escape and hunt you through a dimly lit facility. And shortly after its release, Containment Breach exploded on YouTube, with view counts on playthroughs so high, I'd wager it's how many were introduced to SCP in the first place. But like the wiki itself, SCP games have come a long way since Containment Breach, with the most impressive from a standpoint of sheer creativity probably being Secret Files. Released in 2022, the title puts you in the shoes of a newcomer to the Foundation who learns about past SCPs while working.
How old is this game? Look at that computer. Did you see the furnace they had? They had like the coiled ones from the 90s. Door for privacy. No, you don't need that. You don't need that. Ray, please tell me you do not shit with the bathroom door open. I will not tell you that.
in the archives. The story is divided into chapters, each with a gameplay and art style so distinct they might as well be different games. For example, one chapter is dedicated to the famous SCP-701, or the Hanged King's Tragedy,
Ooh, I don't like
a 17th century play that causes anyone who performs it to lose their mind. Appropriately, the chapter itself is chaotic and psychedelic, with the player never certain what's real and what's
I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't know when they're gonna move and attack you. I hate that.
Product of the anomaly affecting their mind. From an artistic perspective, it's one of the more immersive ways to experience a reality-bending SCP, and can at times be genuinely spooky. On the opposite end of the tonal spectrum is the chapter on SCP-1762, a cardboard box that acts as a portal to a Narnia-esque magical land that paper dragons come out of. The original entry is famous for its uniquely non-horror approach, and to reflect this, the art style of this chapter is bright and painterly, and the gameplay is equally charming. Instead of running for your life, you use stickers to bandage the wings of paper dragons and practice your penny flute for the big recital. The whole chapter, I kept waiting for things to get dark, and while like the original entry there is some truly tear-jerking stuff as the magical land starts to fade away, for the most part, the chapter retains its storybook presentation throughout. Take
me to Narnia. Take me to Narnia now. Now, I want to touch the big lion.
And as a whole, Secret Files is the ultimate proof of SCP's versatility, that it can be used to tell stories in any genre.
So it doesn't even have to be horror. It's just... Isn't it just kind of like... Maybe he already said it. Isn't it just an anthology? Is it an anthology? It's just like episodic in a series. You know what I mean? It's like they don't really have anything to do with each other. Why are we talking about body fluids? What? We're watching horror stuff. What are you talking about? Hi, Glass. You didn't fix the one. Oh, I'll fix it later. I'll fix it later. It is a power move. Thank you.
The infinite variability of SCP means that no single game could ever embody the series in its totality, which hasn't stopped fans from trying. SCP Fragmented Minds is an upcoming crowdsourced game that seems massively ambitious, taking a more combat-oriented approach in contrast to the more passive Secret Files. Fragmented Minds seems to have a lot of passion behind it, but more than that, it seems symptomatic of a larger dream. There's a phantom of a big budget.
I would rather look at hot men with what is this, lamb skulls than 5-fingered spiders. It's so gross. It's so gross. It's so gross. I'm sorry, I had to look at it. I'm sorry, Kilna. Oh yeah.
AAA SCP game that haunts the ever-growing fan base. The feverish hope that one day a mainline studio might take a swing at the franchise. It doesn't seem impossible. In fact, it might have already happened. This is Genshin. The majority of the game Control revolves around the secretive Federal Bureau of Control, an off-the-books government agency created to seek out, contain, and categorize supernatural items called objects of power. And if that sounds familiar, it should, because Control and SCP are explicitly, irrevocably intertwined. The makers of the game Control have stated that the game's story and atmosphere are heavily influenced by the SCP series. Think about that for a second. A major award-winning company made what is, on some level, a fan game of an indie internet horror anthology.
What is it called? Control? We should try it. It looks fun. We should try it. And if it's award-winning, I'm sure it's really good. And I don't think it's AI voice. I think it's just his voice. Goddamn AI. I would rather eat the forbidden chocolate mousse. Ew. You would get stomach ulcers.
That's pretty unheard of. Blech. But the connections between the franchises goes deeper. Control takes place within an altered building called the Oldest House, an ever-changing structure where the Bureau has set up headquarters. Nothing about the oldest house makes scientific sense. Its interior is infinitely larger than its exterior, certain rooms are thresholds to other dimensions, and the building itself can only be seen by someone explicitly looking for it. And yet,
does this not remind you of like a shonen manga setting? Imagine, normal high schooler, yes, they have to be in high school, loses his only guardian, yes, it always happens, and he is taken in by a team of paranormal investigators who are like, we're part of the SCP, our job is to discover, investigate, and contain anomalies in this world. Is this not like shonen manga? When are we gonna get an SCP anime? It sounds like prime material for it. Hi, Fitz! My voice is not AI.
Yet despite this, every description of the oldest house and the altered objects housed within are written in the same dry, confident tone, deeply reminiscent of the language used in SCP entries. The same confidence extends to in-game recordings you can find, where researchers will discuss mind-shattering phenomena like it's all business as usual. There's even an insane puppet show called Threshold Kids the Bureau created to reassure children that there's definitely nothing to worry about.
Oh, definitely,
sure, the building seems malignant and is full of floating zombies, but everything is under control.
Oh, everything is!
It only takes a few minutes of actual gameplay to make it clear that no one in the game Control is actually, well, in control. The notion that layers of bureaucracy and paperwork can actually contain the unfathomable horrors long-term is just an illusion. And the same is true at the SCP Foundation. Despite the Foundation's best efforts, the deeper into the lore you get, the more patterns of administrative dysfunction emerge. As in Control, the Foundation is ultimately an under-equipped group fighting a losing battle against forces they can't truly understand. Many of the most complex recent stories set in the SCP universe emphasize this hopelessness, this sense that the Foundation isn't as in control as they'd like to believe.
Of course
the
not.
recent 20-minute film 096 by...
It's so... what's the word? Not hypocritical. It's so overconfident of humans to think they can control these things with technology. So many horror movies are based on that notion. Yes, we can control them, and then boom, nope. Arrogant, yes, thank you. Yes, yes, yes. Open portals to dimensions of pure energy. Ooh, Tesseract, who?
Clea Beale explores the tragedy and horror that occurs when the cracks in the Foundation's system start to show. The film's title comes from SCP-096, a monster that hunts down anyone who looks at its face, whether it be directly, via video recording, or even a photograph.
Video
recording.
The other
monster haunting the film is the Foundation itself, a faceless bureaucracy laden with internal corruption that can be just as dangerous as the anomalies it contains. The fact that this franchise went from a bunch of people sharing spooky ideas on a message board to something this thematically dense is pretty astonishing. And 096 isn't the only SCP.
What's 069? Knowing the internet, they must have given it some juicy category. Categories of SCP are just the difficulty of containing them and not how deadly they are. A button to destroy the world is lowest class. A harmless slime which can walk through a wall is a harder class. Oh, why? That's such an interesting approach to categorizing monsters. Huh. 4 pixels caused containment breach. Oh? 4 fucking pixels in a photograph. Are you kidding me? Damn. I was gonna say that sounds like that monster from Lethal Company that you can't look at. I can't remember his name. But I guess it's slightly different.
Adaptation of its level of quality on YouTube. SCP Overlord by Stephen Hancock and Evan Muir is an even lengthier short film that captures a similar atmosphere of powerlessness. A tightly wound thriller, it follows a group of Foundation military operatives who are slowly picked off by an incomprehensible threat, made all the more unsettling by the fact that the film never tells you which SCP is taking them out. These filmmakers have made other shorts set in this universe that also don't fully explain which anomaly the protagonists are dealing with, which helps put the viewer in their shoes and makes everything tenser. There's a clear hunger for cinematic takes on this franchise. SCP.
Same thing with backroom stuff. I love like cinematic horror stuff based on fake stories. It's just so cool. It's like way cooler than anything Hollywood can produce in a movie. It's super genuine and it's very raw and passionate. I really like it. I wish there were more. Hi Ragnarok. Hi, I hope you had a good day.
Overlord, for example, has almost 18 million views. As was the case with the games, I'm sure a lot of fans discovered SCP through these videos. And some of these new fans will inevitably create their own SCPs, which will in turn produce more fan content, which will reach new people.
Maybe this is the real horror. Ideology that spreads. This is the real horror, son. The SCP will never end. It is a self-sustaining, sentient horror story. Oh, thank you for the like.
Continuing an infinite, self-perpetuating cycle. The idea of a website dedicated to uncanny terrors that slowly takes over the internet is exactly the sort of thing one might expect to find on the SCP Wiki. But in the ultimate twist, that description applies to the wiki itself. The SCP series and its popularity is the kind of anomalous phenomena the Foundation would want to contain. But it can't be contained, because there's so much more than I've covered so far. There are entire channels dedicated to going through each entry in incredible detail. There are graphic novels, short stories, other organizations, alternate universes. Please. The fandom seems to be ever expanding, completely out of anyone's control. And perhaps that's as it should be. While massive and unwieldy, there is such a range of styles and genres across this franchise that I truly believe it is something for everyone. In the end, the most important thing the SCP Foundation offers is a canvas, upon which ordinary, passionate creators can leave their mark. I think that's the real secret to its success, and why this abyss, unfathomable though it may be, is worth staring into. As always, thanks for watching.
Thank you for the video.
If you enjoyed this entry, please lend your support by liking, subscribing, and hitting the notification icon to stay up to date on all things curious. See you in the next video.
Nice. Hey, I like it. I'm intrigued.